Hello, hello, hello. I hope you guys can hear me, as I know sometimes it's hard for me to get through. How's everybody this week? I hope everybody's doing all right. I want to start off by thanking everyone who came out and just hung out with me last week. I really appreciate you guys so much. So much. You just don't know. Um, I think we all craft for different reasons. And because we all craft for different reasons, oh, 1 second. I'm coming in my other device, just making sure I can. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I hope you can. I hope you can. I don't need both. I just need to be able to watch. Got it. We in business then. Michelle said she could hear me. All right, guys. Again, I'm going back. I was thanking everybody who came out last week. We talked about my favorites last week. And obviously my kids were in there. And we also talked about you guys. Hi, Cats Gallery. We talked about you guys. You guys really keep me going. You keep me centered. You keep me grounded. I so appreciate all of the crafters and everyone in this community. I really do. So I'm going to start off by thanking everyone who's in here. Chantel. Hi, Chantel. How you doing? And Rochelle. That's my Rochelle. Look at my sister. Hi, Rebecca. So what I was saying is the last time I saw your logo, there was a color to the background. And I think one of the things that you were asking was if the wording crafting journey, if that kind of drowned out. But whatever you did, it is absolutely gorgeous. Love it, love it, love it. So don't change anything. All right. And then Miss Olivia, how are you this evening? Hope everyone is having a pretty chill evening. I know it's late, so I appreciate you guys tuning in, coming in, and hanging out with me. Yes. You guys see the title of I know this is crafting, but we could be sexy and craft too, right? So one of the things, it's fall time. And fall with that, for us here in the desert where it's hot, the fall time usually is a time where it cools off enough for us to finally go outside and enjoy. I know it's getting cold on the other side of the world, but it's really extremely comfortable because we get down to usually it's between 95 and 105. I know that's hot to you guys, but it's not 118. And so it definitely is a time where we kind of get out and we do a little bit more. Now, we were one of the last, dare I say, we were one of the last cities in civilized society to try to return to 2019, meaning no masks, no paranoia. We still are pretty masked up, though, because we keep getting these different bouts. And even with the last update, which is we don't care no more. Whoever get it, you got it. Get over it. And if you want to protect, protect. If you don't, we're not gonna be washing hands like we used to. You can keep licking toilet seats if you want. That's up to you. All of that is like back to 2019. And so we were one of the last cities. Now that we are returning to the norm, as everyone is calling it now. They're not saying re-emerging anymore. It's returning to the norm now. So now that we're returning to the norm, nightlife is starting to look a little different back here in Vegas. The thunder from down under. If you don't know nothing about Vegas, you definitely know what the thunder from down under is. So the thunder from down under, they're back to kind of selling out shows. You've been licking toilet seats, Tia? Not me. That's not something I would ever do. But I can't wait to stop seeing all of those TikTok videos and this TikTok trend where youngins were trying it. No one ever seen that? There was a lot of trends when the demic first was dealt. Ew, girl. Never I. But there were some people out there just licking toilet seats. See, I'm well, as their ear and stuff was falling off. I made it. I'm okay. Um, you guys, you've never heard that? There was this trend in 2020, and it was ridiculous. It was the dumbest things that I've ever seen on TikTok, and they were all youngins. What I mean by that is they were all under 30, maybe 25. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And what happened was, what happened was they were like, there was some kind of a report that the virus didn't impact the youth. And because it didn't impact the youth, they could basically lick a toilet seat and still be okay and still live through the virus. That was like the thought process, I guess. We've evolved from even that stupidity. Long story short, there was all these TikToks and slides and quick vids where people were actually slabbering up on the toilet seats. See, mom, I'm okay. No one ever saw that YouTube channel. Ah, that's so sweet. Yes, that's her new endeavor. Blue Man isn't as exciting as Thunder from Down Under. Have you seen the Blue Man? It was good. It's definitely good. She's talking about the Blue Man Group, and they are hilarious. They paint themselves in blue paint all over their face, their eyes and things, and they put on these like cargo outfits as if they work, Yeah, people drinking bleach. I remember that too. See, Chantel? Yes, I remember that someone said drinking bleach and something else. Yeah, I wouldn't let my dog lick a toilet seat. That is such a great pet owner. I wouldn't either, which is why those videos never made sense, but they were all over. I'm sure if you look it up, well, we could really shame people now. Yeah, I saw you. Don't let her up in here. She was one of the ones licking toilet seats back in 2020. We could really go back and shame people. I wonder if they've all pulled their video down, or if it went viral and got shared so many times that they just can't. That would be hilarious. That's a homework project I think I'm going to give to my mom. Remember in 2020 when my mom was talking about prostitution and she had this help the hoes mantra, we was going to help the hoes until we looked up that the hoes here in Vegas, in Nevada, the state of Nevada, were doing well. You don't watch TikTok? That is good. You're not wasting any brain cells. But with this little extra time you got, you may get a chuckle or two out of it. They are proud of that. It was a great accomplishment wasn't it, Chantel? Like, I'll never forget being shocked and astonished, like, what is the world coming to? Oh my God. You guys ever hear when you were younger, and you would hear people say the world's gonna end, and they would put a little time to it and things like that. You always see in certain movies, you'll see a crazy person. It'll be like 107 degrees outside, and they'll have on like full winter, gooseneck fur coat. They look homeless also, but they got these big signs. They homeless, but they got pins and money to buy signs, and on the sign it says, well, good end, give me all your money or whatever the sign says. I really felt like come 2020, that's what was happening. I was like, oh my God, all of that stupid shit I've seen on TV is really happening. I didn't think it was possible, but I remember thinking that. What about you guys? What is the craziest thing that you remember from 2020? Mom, what is the craziest thing that you recall besides helping the host? Oh, I don't know. You don't know? You don't remember? Yeah. My mom is the TikTok queen, just so you guys are aware. She owns it all day and night. She enjoys TikTok. She got a little TikTok boyfriend. It's too late. I told you if you didn't get on camera, I was talking about you. They know. Mom, they know. Since you got on TikTok. Rochelle says, hey, Mama. She said, hey. Rebecca's in here, too. She said, hey, baby. um, so, yeah, my mother, she gets a lot of, not just my mom, but my daughter every once in a while. My mom's on there more than anybody in the family. And she will bring us some crazy videos. And yeah, some of those TikTok boy toy, she be getting some great ones. But she has some TikTok men that, they will hit you up on TikTok. They are not scared. Malia is thinking her boobs would grow from a vaccination because she heard that on TikTok. I'm telling you right now, sis, TikTok has, yep, TikTok has some stuff. Amanda is about to embark on a wonderful journey. She just bought a house and she is about to decorate her home from inside out. And that is going to be so much fun to be able to have your own home and do the things that you want to do. I understand there's not going to be any knocking out of the walls. That was the first question I asked, though. She gonna knock out some walls? I would probably never knock out walls, but I always wonder, simply because that was the first and only thing that my dad's girlfriend, Miss Marie, she always would say. I'm gonna knock that wall out over there. I'm gonna open this up right here. We're gonna put. I like open space. Yeah, so Miss Marie would have definitely done it also, but we got rid of her mama. So I worked hard to get her out the house. My poor daddy, he still ended up having to redo the house. Jean says, "Hey, mama, how you doing?" I'm okay. How you doing? She said, "How are you doing?" So, did you cook today, Jean? Crashly's here too. Crashly. She said, "Hey, Crashly." So she will be with us when we host this weekend, guys. Just so you're aware, because she sent her stuff before I even sent mine. Her packages arrived like 2 weeks before mine. So I'm gonna do what's her name? I'm gonna do my hair and do my nails. But you talking about Lizzo? Lizzo. I do my hair, whip my hair back, and do my nails. You so silly, mama. Crashly's just resonating pins, so she can't type. Saying hi to all her sisters. Hi, everyone, and hi, mama. Girl, it is a process. But paint party this weekend, and I started the tackle of the yard this weekend. Mowing is a 2-day process. Aww. Jean says she cooked, sort of. Did you cook homemade or did you cook from the box? I would think that means that she cooked from the box. That would be sort of for me. Yeah. That would be sort of for me. Or went to McDonald's and put it on a plate. She said, "Did you go to McDonald's and put it on the plate?" That's bougie, Mom. I like it though. I like how you think. Oh, so with the fall coming, with the weather, kind of leveling out, I think the rest of this week is going to be about 105, 106. Obviously those 110, 111 degree days, 118, 117, 121. Those are, starting to stave off. I know that we've had a lot of those because you guys know my mom, she is pretty active and she will go for a walk. It was 107 in the morning when I went there. See, she will go for a walk in the middle of the day at 114 degrees. And if she out of beer or if there's something that we need, she will go. Yeah, it's hot. It's too hot to be out walking. You guys know I got shoulders. I'm not going to be walking anyway. But my mom, bless her heart, she will, if I'm working, she doesn't like to disturb me. She doesn't drive anymore. Not that she would need to because she power walks and she gets her steps in. She averages about 14, but on those days where she needs to go to walk, she'll get 18 to 20,000 steps in. And yeah, I just hope in 20 years, I'm here with her. Is all I because I think that she is going to. She's better built than me. That's all I can say. Uh, so I'm trying to get my sexy back. I'm working on my smile, and I just love coming to see you guys. I love hearing everyone's shows. I love to see what everyone's working on. And yes, it helps. It helps me a lot. And with that said, not only am I trying to get my sexy back, my smile, Lisa, you just got home from work. Lisa is amazing. I don't know how you out up and about. Um, she had surgery last week on both legs, and it just looks painful. But she is out and about, and she's back to work already. I would have asked for 2 years off, and that's just where I would have started. I probably would have tried to roll that through to retirement. So kudos to you. I gotta quit being lazy. That's my problem right there. Don't repeat what I say, guys. This is one of those, how they tell people, I can talk about my mama, but you can't. That's where we at right now. I know I need to lose some weight and work these shoulders out. It's easier said than done. And so I'm trying. I'm a work in progress. But I will say, trying to get my sexy back. Because before, it didn't matter at all. I know my shoulders are getting a little bit bigger. I know that. I know my shoulders is, out of control. I know that. But guess what? I'm sexy. I'm fluffy and sexy. That's how I used to think. You and me both, sister. Yeah. Now, I don't have that confidence, I guess, anymore. Before, you couldn't tell me nothing. Yep. Yep. My shoulders need to, shrink a little. But they look good where they are. That would have been probably my response. Well, that's not my response anymore. Now my response is definitely, yeah, you got some things that you need to do, girl. You got some, opportunities that you need to overcome. I guess is a good way to say it. So I'm trying to, be a little bit more aware. Not so much where it hurts my feelings, though. Uh, Rebecca says we should start another step challenge. Yeah, I think that's a little too far. I thought I was gonna die having to go having. So I had a goal, and the goal at first was to just step more than I was stepping before. And I thought I could do it because we have like we have Deb, we have a lot of Susan, you know. They had me thinking I could do it. My mom was like, we'll do it together. My mom is way more active than me, way more active. About 5 or 6 years ago, I was more active. 2017 is where I collapsed and I found out that I still had a bullet in my leg. And I went from probably about a size 16. I had, how we all say we got good 25, 30 pounds we could afford to lose, to I blew up to like a 22, 24. I'm down straddling between a 20 and a 22. And I say straddling because, when things are super tight, guess what size I am? And then I lose weight and they're loose. And I'm like, yeah, look at me, I'm losing weight. Guess what? Then they're super tight again. So I feel like, this last 5.5 years, I've been losing and regaining the same, pounds. So when I talk about getting my sexy back, obviously I want to get rid of those pounds for good and then maybe work on, I don't know. But I definitely, I'm aware. I don't want you guys to think I'm not aware. I don't know if, movement is great, but I hate it walking. Is there a way that we can do the step challenge, but low, what do they call that? Low impact? How do you low impact walking? Like walking is the low impact. That's why I said I'm lazy. It could be just between us girls. That I like, you know. Obviously, we're heading into the fall, and a lot of people are going to be coming in from, their active life, and settling in. And maybe it'll be a good idea to do something as we go into the fall to where we're aware of it, we're aware of it in advance. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to do that right here in this moment. I do, Mama. I do. My mother is over here cooking homemade goodness because I went to a couple of shows when I was off. I just was trying to clear my mind. I had another rough day at work. Another rough day at work. So other than that, that is what I'm wanting to do. I want to get my sexy back, and whatever suggestions you have, I do like maybe doing the step challenge with just my sisters. I think that would be probably a little bit more successful because I wouldn't have to on such a large scale, like try to motivate people. I think that our team did a wonderful job. We did a wonderful job. Everyone stayed active, and I think that kept us engaged. But it was still a lot every day and every week to be mindful of, and it was a long challenge too. It wasn't like, oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna be good for 3 weeks or 4 weeks. We took on the challenge of 3 months, the whole summer, and I live in the Mojave Desert. So, but I can't complain. Like this weekend, I'm trying to get out a little bit more. My head be bothering me. If you guys watched my show last week, boy, did I talk last week. Walk in the swimming pool equals water aerobics. It's funny that you mentioned that because I used to go swimming all the time. We went to the aquatic center. We have a pool here, but I just very rarely, because it has to be filtered, has to be clean. We had just some unusually wet summer. Again, I live in a desert. It doesn't rain here hardly at all. We do get 320 plus days of sunshine per year, which leaves about 45 days, which is just over a month usually. So about 45 days where we don't have sunshine. And out of that 45 days, there's usually about 20 to 25 days of rain. That's our monsoon season. We get gusts of water. I don't know if you guys know who Kim Bullard is. She was here from the UK. Great friend. We talk all the time. Unfortunately, she came at the like um, right when the monsoon season was hitting. And you guys may have seen some videos that she posted where, yes, our strip and our streets here were flooded. Because we live in the desert, we don't have like a viable, we should by now. There's no reason or excuse for this, but we don't have a viable sewage system. And so it floods up when it rains. And cars, unless you have a nice big truck, cars, unfortunately, they start floating. And yeah, that's what occurred. So that's what some of her videos are. I know Billy checked on us because he saw a video on the news about how it was flooding. Just so you're aware, my daughter, where she stays at on UNLV campus, that's right there in the heart of where all the floods were. They were coming in. She's on the third floor, and water was coming in and filling up on the first floor. So that's how bad it gets when it rains. But now, we're coming out, we're emerging from oh, I must be missing someone's comment. We're emerging from our monsoon season, and so we're heading into a really nice time of the year. Fall and spring are really our nicer times of the year. It's still for fall. It's still kind of hot. You guys might call it an Indian summer, because you're still getting beautiful weather here and there. The sun is really nice. You may just have to grab a jacket or something. It'll be like that for us probably through November or December, and then it will kind of stave off real quick. It'll drop down. Usually drops down to about 60. But last year, I don't know what happened. It was unusually cold. Like we were getting temperatures in the 40s during the day, which is usually our nighttime weather when it's really, really cold. So if it's 40 during the day, you can imagine how cold it is at night. Might still not have matched anything in like the Midwest or, upper, what does they call that? Pacific Northwest. It probably didn't match any of the weather there, but it was still cold, ice cold for us. There was one day where I remember um, it was 27 degrees inside the building that I worked at, and it was like 28 or 29 outside, and I was like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" So I remember, I had to be in the building by myself, so I didn't even have people in there breathing, helping with the temperature control. So, yeah, what's everybody working on? We're coming into the fall. Tomorrow starts September 1. What's everyone going to be doing? Are you working on a project? Are you going to take a break? If you guys were in Shay's live, she said that she had done 2 back-to-back collabs and she was kind of tired. So she was going to take a little bit of a break. Somebody called her an eventaholic, and I was just finished up calls and I was really kind of laughing and chuckling and things. What are you guys planning on doing? September is going to be obviously this weekend, Saturday. Make sure you reach out to me or one of the sisters. We are hosting Honey Bunny's baby shower and to welcome in our little nephew. Cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun. We do have right now 25 people who have committed. It is going to be a Zoom baby shower, so it's going to be virtual, and we're all going to be able to be there to give well wishes, to send kisses. If you guys are wanting to attend, let either myself or Crashly or Rebecca know, and we'll get the link out to you. She is registered. Obviously, we're running into, as it gets closer, we're running into, can we just send something, gift card or whatever she can decorate. But we are going to have a lot of fun. Make sure you guys grab a snack and come out and just hang out with us and wish her well wishes as she embarks on a new chapter in Baby Kingdom and Babyland, because I think that this is so much fun. The funny thing is, she's about to have a baby. And I'm looking for somebody's kids to steal because I don't have no kids. Like all my kids are grown up and things like that. So I want to attend. Make sure, or I'll send you a link when I get off then, Lisa. Yvonne, hi Yvonne, how are you? Yvonne says she's doing the Chuck Pinson along. Whoop whoop. That's gonna be fun. I have I got a ton of Chuck Pensons. I have over like 30. I had 36 or 35 or 36. I've done like 6 or 7 of them. So I do have a ton that I could do. It's really just, the excitement. I love shopping my stash, and I've been doing that a lot more lately. Just kind of going through my stuff, having a lot of excitement. Oh, I can't wait. When am I going to do this? And, I know that we have the Great Escape collab going on. We have another month of that. So if you guys do have a landscape, make sure that you guys are, know how to sign up and enjoy that. Obviously, they have the Chuck Along. I believe that's going to be the 8th one. Is it 8th or 6th? I can't remember. I have to go back and check. But there is the Chuck Pinson along. That's going to be so much fun. And then I'd like to be there if possible, please. Hello, everyone. Hi, Susan. How are you? Jean says, I'm finishing my Great Escape with the fireworks. Look at you. You getting finishes in. I remember when you first started diamond painting. She left coloring and she took on the addiction. Do you still color, Jean? Anyway, that's awesome. Totally awesome. Also coming up in September, we are doing the Craftathon. You guys know it as the DP Along, but now Rebecca and Crashly have decided to, pick it back up. They're going to take over curating the event, and we are going to gear it more towards all crafts. It's going to be 3 days. It does start on Friday, the 16th. I believe that's the date. Look at me. I hope that's the date. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But Tia, your painting is looking good. I need to get a Lizzie painting. Yes, you do. And right down here in the description box is my link. Make sure you guys have a ball shopping. Did you guys see the new? I didn't post mine for this week, but did you guys see the new artist that posted? There is 2 paintings that I just think I gotta have on TSA. One of them, it looks like she's Native American or something, and she's gorgeous though. It looks like she has on like an Indian print and things. Obviously, my mom's mom, she is Native, and my mom's dad, he is African American. So I definitely am always trying to throw a tribute to my grandmother, and that was going to be one that I need to have. I never did my tribute from Mandy Manzano when she did Pocahontas. Obviously, I got that as a tribute. Maybe one day I will work on just tributes and things. Obviously, if I can get my butt off of work and get back into a schedule, a routine of my crafting, I do miss getting off from work, running in here and just hanging out, listening to somebody stuff. Oh my goodness, look at you. She says, I'm still working on the Good Witch from DAC for Oz and Og. Tomorrow, I am supposed to have the Enablers Outpost Moon Witch. I seen the Moon Witch. Everyone, did you see how many they had online? Everyone is going to be getting the Moon Witch. That one's going to be gorgeous. Especially, are you going to the Festival of Witches and Drills and Chills? So she's doing the Festival of Witches and Drills and Chills. There you go. That's going to be awesome. So I think I did the first year Drills and Chills. I think was it Rachel Ray? I think she was working on a huge painting. And then the second year, I think Billy and J Rob and a few people, they all did like the same painting, and I didn't get the painting. And so I was slow and I just ended up doing something else. That's how I get left behind sometimes. If I don't get it right away, boop, boop, then I miss out or, have to redirect my focus. So that's awesome. Festival of Witches, Drills and Chills. Make sure that you guys all come out. There is going to be, I forget, is it 36 hours? No, almost 3 days full. I forget how many hours. I had it calculated, but it's out of my mind now, so I do apologize. But it's going to be Friday. We're kicking off at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we're going all the way through Sunday evening. Yes. And that's going to be until, I believe that's 9 Central. So make sure you guys tune in. I'm going to kick off the event, and then my sister Crashly is going to close out the event. And guess what? In between, there's going to be so much fun, so much crafting. If you're not into, you could turn into Rochelle. If you're not into it right now, you could give it a try, and you'll have someone to give your leftovers to if it doesn't work out. Rochelle says, I'm still working on Craftably, the language of flowers. It is beautiful. It should be called Hidden Beauty. I'm also working on my Great Escape painting. Yes, it's a Chuck Benson. Yes. Because who doesn't like to escape into that romantic scenery that Mr. Pinson creates for us? And I mean, I'll never forget um, the way that he described it. He said a lot of those places he's never been to. They're images that have just evoked some sort of memory or passion, or someone described something, or he read about it in a book, and then he put that memory into life on a canvas, and painted something that we all look at. That's what I like about landscapes. I look at a place and wish I was there. I look at a place and like, what can I do to go? I really wish I could go to this place. This is beautiful. It's perfect. So that would be the amazing part of being able to, come up with some of that creativity on my own. And thank you, Crash. Crashly just posted Jen's baby shower event. It says the Facebook event. The Zoom link will be posted within that event closer to Saturday. So make sure that you guys copy and paste that. If you're wanting to come out and hang out and wish J Rob just well wishes as she embarks on motherhood revisited, make sure that you guys come out, hang out, well wishes, blow kisses. Casey can't wait to see my nephew. We're going to have a lot of fun. Definitely, getting into the spirit, laughing, joking. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Telling her how she should get as much sleep now because it will be non existent pretty soon. I remember when I was pregnant with my son, that was like overwhelming. Everyone kept saying, and you guys, anyone that knows my son, you guys know he's really calm. He's really, just laid back. And so when he came, I didn't lose a lot of sleep like people were saying. Like, what are you talking about? You didn't know what you was talking about, you know. So that happened though, just like that, when my daughter was born. Like I got no sleep at all. I was like, I don't know how. That's why I was breastfeeding because I didn't even have time to cook and eat for myself. And she just was like all over me. No, my nanny, give me the nanny. Like she used to assault me. Give me the nanny. She was embarrassing too. She started walking at, I want to say 8 months, almost 9 months. It was too soon, way too soon, because then she could walk up to me and just snatch me up. Nanny! Like I wasn't, like how you guys were laughing last week and saying that I was her Uber. Yeah, I was just like her food source back then. No love, no love. So, uh, other than that, yeah, it's like We love them. We love them so much. We can't wait for them to be born so we can hug them and kiss them. And they're just fodder for us after that. I can't wait to hear some stories and tales. Little man did this. Little man did that. I'm really eager to see what they come up with in a name. I've resigned myself to stop calling him Liam. And the reason is because I don't think she's going to go with that name. But I keep calling him Liam. I just felt like it went well with Lydia, right? So we try to have, names that flow. So my name is Tia. My daughter is Tiara. My ex, his name is Jerry, and my son is Justin. Obviously, we were trying to make the names flow so that, we seem like a gelling, meshing family. It didn't work out, but, it was a good thought at the time. I was young. That's how my mind worked. uh, what about you guys? Anybody have troubles with the names? I had no trouble. I took whatever names people were given. My son, he actually should have been Whitney, because that was my family name. So all the men on my dad's side had to endure Whitney until my dad came along. My grandmother was like, hell no, I'm not naming my son Whitney. That's a girl's name. So my dad became William. But because he wasn't named after his dad, his granddad, his great granddad, his great great granddad, and his great great granddad, and his great 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 granddad, and his great 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 granddad, he felt like he was cursed. And so he said, you got to break the family curse. You got to bring the name back into the family. And I was like, really? Like, you're going to put all of that on me? I didn't do it. Grandma did. Why aren't you having this conversation with your mama? Well, I got to be the mama. And he kept getting on me. I just did not like Whitney for my son. I felt that. I felt her in her conviction. My dad was very strong in his. And I said, well, not the first kid. Let's give him a chance. And the second kid was a girl. So guess what my daughter's middle name is? And my dad said I cheated. Do you guys think that's cheating? I told her every time she go to a family event, introduce herself as Whitney. Make sure everybody know. And that's how we brought the name back into the family. What do you guys think? Was that cheating, or did I do all right? I feel like I did great. I brought the name back. It's in the family. She knows the significance of it, and my son too. He thanks me all the time though because he didn't want to be called Whitney, and I don't blame him. I saved you. Now I better not be sent to Shady Acres when it comes to the decision. Do you guys ever think about that? When the decision comes down, and so you may need a little help washing your bum and fixing your meals. The reason we had little people in the first place. Do you guys ever wonder who it's going to be? Rebecca says, I really thought you were going to say Whitney because you had a side hustle. A side hustle. Oh, you're so bad. Oh, Lisa says, all four of my kids have four names. It was the only way to fit in the family names that were needing passed on. I started to do the four name thing. I started to do Justin Tyler Whitney, and my dad was like, it's too far down. I was like, well, why would I put it further up? Why would it be Justin Whitney Tyler, or why would it be Whitney Justin Tyler? That's defeating the purpose. Dad, he didn't want that. So I understand what you mean, Lisa, by four names. I started to do that also. But we got it in. Second name. The only reason why I gave it to my daughter as her second and not her main name is because when we were talking about it, and I had 4 baby showers for my daughter, and at each baby shower, people were asking, "Have you decided on a name?" Yeah, we're gonna bring the family name back. Oh, Whitney, you bringing the family name back, or are you naming her after Whitney Houston? Why would I name her after Whitney Houston? Like that was so my poor dad, he didn't get his wish of having at least one kid where the name was, brought back and it was prominent. But I just didn't want anyone thinking I named my child after Whitney Houston. Um, Now, if it was in the 80s when she could sing and her throat wasn't all broken out and she wasn't, sound like she was gargling marbles, that may have been an ideal time. But I was old when I had kids, and she was struggling at that point. You know, she'd come on stage, she just couldn't hit the notes anymore. So, you know, I didn't want people thinking I was idolizing the wrong person and stuff. And my poor child, can you imagine? Your mom named you after Whitney Houston? That was after she started struggling, after it was determined that she might have, that was after she married Bobby. Definitely not the time to name your child after her, right? So, with that said, that got pushed down to her middle name. Do you guys think I made the right choice? I never felt bad about it. Just so you're aware. Even though my dad was ticked, I still never felt bad about it. uh, yeah. Do you guys have a part of anything about your names that you hate? Anything at all? Like you wish it was something else? If you had to, that's a great question. If you could have named yourself, what would you have named yourself? What would it have been? That's a great question. I should ask my kids that. I always want to know. My mom, she feels like her name was just very plain Jane. And so she always wished she could have had a different name and things like that. Like, I don't know how many people really just don't like their name. Yvonne says Penny. Okay, I like that. Um, I'm trying to think. There's quite a few names that I like. Jean says Batman. She would name herself Batman. I like that. Um, I don't know. I definitely would have been something either very plain, like Jane, or Amy. I say that all the time that I should have been an Amy, but I really don't know any black Amys. But I do say that I should have been an Amy. I'm going to tell you guys why. Because my dad, you guys know my last name is Smith. My dad is Will Smith, William Lawrence, Bill Smith, Larry, you know, you name it's a moniker. My mom, Anna Maria, Anna Maria Smith, Anne Marie, very common. My brother, I don't know if I told you guys this, my brother's Michael Anthony. Michael Anthony Smith. Yep. And then there's Tia. And nope, nope, nope. I did get all the time asked, "Are you adopted?" Like nobody understood what occurred. I know that my parents, they read a book while they were in college. They met when they were just about to enter college. And I believe they read the same book. What are the odds? So I don't know. Someone was saying names. No one was like loving the names. And then it was, let's do something different. I think it was my grandfather that said, let's do something different. And here come Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the only time they were in sync. Let's never tell. Put that book down. Only time you guys are in sync. Yvonne says all my brothers and sisters had plain names. I have the name no one can remember. Yeah, yeah. What's her name? Over there. Her. What would you uh how would you guys feel about those old fashioned names like Herbert, Margaret, Gertrude? What about those names? Would you guys be okay with that? Especially women. Like, would you be okay with what's an old timey name? Gertrude, Gertie. Those are just some of the names. The funny part about my mom brought this up this weekend. The funny part about Rebecca and Jean being so close to me is Sally. I wouldn't like Sally at all. Um, I used to say this all the time. When someone would ask me my name, I would say Rebecca Jean. Or if somebody would piss me off, I'd be like, Rebecca Jean, if you don't get out of my way. And my mom asked me this weekend if I ever told Rebecca and Jean that. I was like, I don't think that I've ever said that to them. It was Saturday, and we went trail riding. And the reason why my mom likes to trail ride is because we can see beautiful scenery and things. We're going up over the problem is we're doing it in a car. We don't have a four-wheel appropriate vehicle to really kind of take us through like sand dunes and over rocks and stuff. So we can only go so far. And somebody who had a nice 4x4 that could go further than us cut me off to head down the trail that I couldn't go down. And I was like, Rebecca Jean, if you don't get your ass out my way. And my mom bust up laughing and said, have you ever told Rebecca and Jean? It's like, no, I've never told them that. My favorite guy name is David. My favorite female name is Mary. Me and my Wendy. Hi. Me and my are both restaurant names. Timothy, yeah, you guys are Timothy's. Oh, Tim Horton and Wendy's. Yep, you guys have restaurant names. I don't know if I had to pick a name that I felt like I could live with forever. It probably would be Rebecca, or I always say Amy as well, but I really don't know. People would think I'm lying to them. Her name ain't no Amy. Rebecca sounds so it sounds like a redhead who is alluring and mischievous at the same time. Sorry, sis. I'm sorry. I know. I'm just telling you. That's what the name sounds like to me. Um, but that's what it sounds like. I also let's see what other names have I always liked. That really has been just really maybe Rebecca. I wonder what else. You look like an Amy. Do I? Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I usually say that to someone. What's your name, Rebecca Jean? Or they'll say, what's your name? Amy Smith. My dad's William Smith. My mom's Anne Marie. My brother's Michael. And I'm Amy. And they'll laugh like, really, we needed all of that? So it's crazy. I grew up with a complex. Like, I don't belong to this family. Just go ahead and tell me now y'all adopted me. If I didn't look so much like my dad, I just am dark. That's all. He had that permanent non-tan. If you guys don't know, my dad is mixed, but he looks white. He looks very white. Um, yeah, but uh, he just never tanned. Never, ever, ever. And my grandmother, she is from Portugal, so she's definitely. My dad looked just like her, and they looked like they were coming to visit from the neighbor's house when we would all get together. Lots of fun times. Lots of fun times. You go somewhere and people are looking. Are they bothering you? Those are definitely. Lisa says my grandma's name was Martha, but she went by her middle name, Jean. Oh, another Jean. See? Now you guys know I'm always thinking Rebecca and Jean. My grandmother's name was Beatrice with a Z on the end. So I thought that was really different. You couldn't tell me when someone said, "Oh, that's Beatrice." No, that's not how you say it. Like I was, I was, in my own thought, in my own mind, I guess, as a kid. Now that's not how you say it. Yes, Beatrice. Well, here in the United States, this is how we say it. Yeah, I get it now. Let's see. My other grandmother on my mom's side, her name was Harriet. Harriet, and she had those names. I would not want to be a Harriet, and her middle name was Lucille, and I wouldn't want to be a Lucille either. And my grandmother named my mom's sister after her, and she hated it. Can you imagine being a girl with that name and then having Junior after it? That's mean. That is definitely mean. I used to be like, did grandma like you at all? Like you're a junior. And what was she? Did she like her name? Then why did she give it to you? You know. I know I was that niece. I'm the bad one. I used to ask a lot of questions and things. What about you guys? Is there a name in your family that you just are so glad that none of your parents named you? Like, oh, I feel bad for aunt, whomever. I'm glad that my parents didn't name me. Yeah, definitely would not have liked to be named Harriet or Lucille. Those are not cute names. Um, let's see, I have an aunt. Her name is Roberta. They call her Birdie. Um, my mom calls her Birdie Flakes, like bird flakes. I laugh about that. um, Priscilla. Oh, I have a cousin named Priscilla. I've never had a problem with the name until we like started hanging out and spending time and things like that. But my cousin Priscilla, I hope she in here. I know she's not, but if you ever come to the show, yep, I'm talking about you. My cousin Priscilla is one of those evil, mean people that how someone is making you talking and someone is like what they call throwing hate and shade at you. So I can say something and she'll be mumbling to someone else. And I'll be like, what you said? I didn't say anything. And then when she leaves, she finds out, or I found out, the person isn't really as close a friend of hers. Girl, she was talking about you the whole time. I'm like, what? Yeah. So that happened a lot. And so that's why I don't like the name Priscilla. Yeah. She tried to set me up one time. She was trying to be funny. And she comes and says to me, Jason wants you to be his girlfriend. And I'm like, Jason? I didn't believe her. I didn't believe her at all because she knows how to keep up a whole bunch of Hades, hell, in other words. And I said, I don't believe her. I marched right over to this guy. His name was Jason. He was playing, we were in high school. He was playing basketball. And I said, did you tell Priscilla that you wanted me to be your girlfriend? Now, if you think that he may say, yeah, how many of y'all going to really go over and ask that? So I was trying to prove a point in front of her. And he had really said it. Yeah, that was embarrassing. She just is so evil, so embarrassed after that. How do you recover from that? What would you guys have done? Yep. Good old Priscilla. Leave it to Yvonne to bring back those horrible memories. My mom just asked about that a few weeks ago. We were talking about it, and I was laughing. Lisa says, born in 72. Everyone asks if I'm named. Oh, see, that's what I mean. That is what I mean. That is what would have happened with my daughter. That is true. I never made the connection either. I never ever made the connection when I see your name, Lisa Martin. It's never even dawned on me, but that is so true. Yep. So, did they start researching and re-asking when she married Michael Jackson? Like, girl, you just married Michael Jackson. How's things going? Is it real? Yeah, poor Michael. Michael couldn't have a real relationship. People just didn't trust that he was doing anything he should have been doing. I've never ever gone somewhere in public with a boyfriend or one of my spouses and someone said, "Let me see you kiss." Let me see you kiss. We just want to see if it's real. He had to prove himself with Lisa Marie. Remember they came out on stage and he was like, "Okay, ready? One, two," and then they go to kiss, and the lips was all off and everything. Like, you didn't practice. Y'all couldn't even at least fool us. Practice. Yep, it did, huh? I figured. I would have asked. That's very mean, Tia. At least you know who you are, Tia. I sure would have asked. Hey, Lisa Marie, now that you married to Michael, you get to stay tonight in the mansion. Y'all really got monkeys floating around everywhere? Those are just the questions. How many people didn't want to know that? I wanted to know. They really got monkeys just floating around on the furniture, pissing and everything? Or they in cages? What does that look like? I always wanted to know. I had a friend, her name was Amanda Dunn. Amanda was in love with him. Oh my gosh. She knew everything about him. Like, I'm still trying to figure that out. How do you know everything about him? She bought every magazine, every magazine. You go to Amanda's house, her walls were full. My mother wouldn't have had that. She'd have snatched that down. What are you doing? You don't get that off my wall. And my dad's housekeeper, oh no. Oh no, she was even more strict than my mom. There's absolutely no way I could have had time to put up all these okay magazine pictures. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, great childhood, great memories. Just wanted to make sure I shared as I work through getting my sexy back. Those are the things that'll be on my mind because I have to pick a character and I got to embody that character. Clearly, I can't change my name to Rebecca. Well, for two reasons, because my sister already has it, and then second, I just told you how I think that means you got to be real alluring, and I'm not alluring, not yet. I'm not. I be done tripped over something and poked my finger up my nose, just trying to scratch the side of it, and then I can't get my finger out. And then when I go to turn looking for a tissue or something, that's when I meet the one. That's the kind of luck I'm dealing with. So I got to work on a mindset. I got to have a good name, not just do some steps, but I got to have a character in mind. Lisa says, "Oh, Rebecca's changing her name to Lizzo. She's going to give Rebecca to me, and she's going to change her name to Lizzo. She's on fire right now. Everybody is loving on her. That might be a good name to change my name to." Uh, At least it says my sister's favorite Christmas present growing up was the Christmas she got a red and black Michael Jackson jacket. Boy, do I remember those jackets. I have pics. Great for blackmail. Oh, Jean says I had posters. Oh, we was just talking about Donnie the other day. Jean, girl, he got a new show coming to Vegas. I'm telling you, if you come, ooh. But Donnie Osmond, that was, ooh, girl, I was in love with him and Andy Gibb. Oh, ooh, ooh, girl, that Andy Gibb. Poor, poor Andy Gibb. You know who I was in love with almost all my life? John Travolta. Him, Donny Osmond, and Andy Gibb. Girls, girls, girls. And that Donnie, he still look fine. He be walking around here in Vegas. Uh, uh, that's who I want to run into. Yeah, I want to run into Donny Osmond. But David Cassidy, he was a cutie. Yeah, it was two or three in the monkeys that I thought were. That was more my mom. She liked the monkeys. But David Cassidy, Donny Osmond, Andy Gibb, those were my heartthrobs. John Travolta, 76 ish, 75, 76 ish John Travolta. He was my first, well, probably not that, first crush, but the first one that my parents remember getting on me about. Are you serious? You're too young to be saying that. I was like, oh, he coot. He coot. Because, I couldn't say ute. Coot. Oh, but it was definitely John Travolta. Yep. You know it. Vinny Barbarino. Ba. That was my boo right there. I loved him. Yeah. And that gorgeous head of hair. That little cleft chin. Whew. All right, I'm showing my age. I'm showing my age. Last week I talked about my hip. This week I'm talking about Andy Gibb and John Travolta. But I'm telling you, Donny Osmond, his show opens sometime within the next week or two. Now you know him and his sister Marie Osmond. They had come back and they had been performing. They had a residency for like I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years. Then they took a break, and then Marie Osmond had a small residency, maybe for 2 years here or something like that. He's had his own separate, but he's all by himself at this point. He's doing really well, you know. I heard some of the other Osmonds came out a year or two, well maybe 2 years before the pandemic hit. And they were all there at one of the shows, and it was on one of our news stories and stuff. I was a sweat hog too. Go ahead, Gene. Welcome back. The dreams. Oh man, you just took me back. Yeah, that was one of my favorite shows. Innocent Days, Innocent Time. Just thinking back, that was fun. I guess that's what the song was about too. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. That's it, baby. Look at you. You can leave the room and come back and be right there in the midst. One of these days, guys, I'm going to get her on camera and I'm going to interview her. I'm going to ask her, welcome back, Carter. I loved it. Yeah, Rochelle, I loved Welcome Back, Carter. Vinny Bob, Mom, do it. Do the leg. Do it, Mom. Bob, Barino. That Horseshack. Yeah, a little. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh my goodness. I just took it back in time, didn't I, guys? Lawrence Hill. And oh, yeah, he was in there. He was in there. I forgot about him. The tall guy. Tall black guy. Yeah. I forgot all. Oh, I feel bad. I forgot all about him. He was tall. And he had a nice, perfect afro and sideburns. Sideburns like Jerry's. hmm My ex, guys, even in the late 90s, my ex was an Elvis fanatic. And yes, he's black. He loved Elvis. And he had thick Elvis sideburn, looked like a black Elvis. And he wasn't giving them up. Going into the 2000s, we still had them. Remember last week, if you guys came last week, you guys heard an Epstein. Yes. Um, if you guys were here last week, I know we had a lot of fun. You guys rocked it out for several hours. I so appreciate it. Um, and I talked a little bit about how he saw a nice shiny toy, which was the other lady, and he left with her, and then she ended up cheating on him and leaving him. Um, that's when he got rid of the sideburns. She was like, I don't know, you know how they say you dust them off and things like that, spiffy them up and things. Hi, Angela, how are you? So, he had these thick sideburns. We called him the Black Elvis, and he just to give you guys an idea of who everyone thinks he looks like. I don't know if you guys know who this person is. Do you know the Wayans brothers? There's the two younger ones, Marlon and Sean. He looks like Sean's twin, except with thick, thick sideburns, like Elvis. But he idolizes Elvis, and he also idolizes um, Frank Sinatra. Those are his two all-time favorite entertainers. Is Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra. So how that plays is he would wear his sideburns and those real thick, thick sideburns like Elvis. He kept his hair kind of low, but it was still a lot. But he wore his Elvis sideburns, and then he would kind of dress like Frank Sinatra. It's crazy dichotomy, but he's always walking around and singing, little Frank Sinatra snippets and things like that. Gosh, it was crazy. People be like, "That's your husband? What is going on in y'all's house?" Like, it was weird. Anyway, the funny part about that is, the sideburns she didn't like. She told him, he got rid of them. She still ended up cheating and leaving. The more of the story is be who you really are. If he kept his sideburns, maybe he kept his woman. I don't know. I don't know. That's very me. Oh, that's just me relaying that. But I've been me. I've been true to me. The only difference is I do wear my hair curly because I just got tired of how much work it is to get it blow dried and get it flat ironed. I did have perms for about 10 years. That the perms on our hair makes it straight, and I hated that also. I would get my hair permed like every 6 months. I hated that. I didn't like it at all. And my dad didn't like it either. So I quit doing that. But I did do it for about 10 years. And I just couldn't take it no more. Trying to get appointments. I got an appointment one time. This guy, he had his own hair salon. He had a salon down in Atlanta, and he had one in like Connecticut, which is where I grew up. And so what I would do, obviously, you want to go to a reputable salon, and it just sounds good. It sounds like, woo, girl, you got your hair done there. Oh, he's got a salon down in Atlanta. And so I went. I'll never forget. I paid $151, and this was like 90, I don't know, 95, 96, something like that. And all he did was he washed my hair, Then he deep conditioned, he blow dried it, and then he cut the yes, $151 for a wash, cut, and basically a style. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done. It's ridiculous. Now, yeah, if I run out of gel, then I'm just woof, I'm out of jail. But I don't have to spend no $151. So my dad was already getting on me about, you know, damaging my hair, ruining my hair, and just letting it be whatever it's supposed to be coming up out of my head and things. Yeah. So I tried to do that. Tried to be pretty because I always wanted to look pretty. And yeah, it didn't work for me. I had to just, you know, get back to just doing it the way I do it now. There's some beautiful people in our it's coming up on that time of the year, usually Melody. That's robbery. Yeah. Yeah, sis. $151 and then was hanging around with how they hang around like they don't want to do this. They don't want to do this. But it's the equivalent of this because they're hovering and the hand will open a little and they'll hover, the hand will open a little more uh, and you just want to say, what the hell's wrong with your hand? You know, but you can't be blunt like that because they'll say, I'm waiting on you to put something in it, So, yeah, he was hovering. And then someone said, who was I with? I don't know if it was one of my cousins or they were like, I think he's waiting on you to tip him. I was like, the tip wasn't built in. I just paid $151. Like, the tip was not built in. And then he starts walking around the shop. He's talking about me out loud to me and everybody in the shop. Y'all get on my nerves acting like, y'all can't pay for the quality that you're receiving. I don't know how much quality I was getting. Like, are you really making the hair do something different? You only washed it, deep conditioned, and cut it. Like, wouldn't any other person that's licensed be able to do this also? So that's why, and I know, black hair care is a $1 billion industry. Industry. I should have went to hair school. I should have went, but I didn't. You know where I go to get my hair done at? Master Cuts. That's where I started going. Pay my $25. Right when the pandemic was hitting. This is how I met Melissa B. Craft with me because we couldn't find anywhere to get our hair done, and she had just got her hair cut. She went to Ulta, and I went into Ulta, and that's where I go now. But before that, Master Cuts. How much product did he get you to buy? That girl, there was no product. That was for the wash, the deep condition, and the cut and style. Yep, that was it. I didn't buy anything. So he was waiting on a tip on his services. Like anybody that knows me knows my hair goes down to the top of my bottom, my bum line. Like I cut it every March. And then by the time it's time to flat iron, because I don't wear my hair in curls in the winter months because I wash my hair almost every day. And so I don't do that in the winter months because my pores will be open. I'm more susceptible to getting a cold. So that's why I'm always, looking to get my hair straightened, blowed out and things. But I still have never paid, and that was 90, I want to say 95. So what, 30, almost 30 years ago? And I've never paid that kind of money since at all. But there was no product in there. It was just the cut and style. No product at all. So going forward, I don't need to be in that. I should have. but I didn't. I should have went to hair school. I got a cousin, she went to hair school. She lives in New Jersey, and she too has a salon down in Atlanta. Now, she doesn't charge those kind of ridiculous rates, but she did get into like weave and extensions. I think that was a good idea. And so she'll line up her clientele for her salon. She has, I think she told me, six stylists that work at the salon, and they pay, booth rent and things to her. And then she's there in town for, I think she does 6 months down there. And then she goes back home and she does 6 months at her original salon. And the same thing, she has most of her stylists are at home, but she has like 12, I think, and they pay her booth rent. So I know you guys heard me talk a few weeks ago, and I said if I could do it all over again, what field would I have gone into? And definitely, I said teaching, and I said hairstylist. Those were my two choices, and that's why. Now, she doesn't have to work at all anymore because she has 12 stylists at home on the East Coast and six stylists at a smaller salon she opened down in Atlanta. And with the booth rent, and then she is in charge of making sure that they have, their education, they stay up on their classes, because they do have to do certain continuing education, stay up on their license, make sure that they're relevant when it comes to being able to style and use, certain products and, colors and lifts and things like that. So she does make sure that she gets her stylists their classes. She's responsible for the product. She has contracts in place for certain products that she, will use. And she does use different products in one salon over the other salon. She's trying to test to see which products are working the best. Did she take a hit during COVID? She didn't. She didn't take a hit, but what she had to do was they had to schedule, like in a black hair salon, they will stack you on top of. So you'll have a 2 o'clock and you go into the salon and there'll be like four other people there with that same 2 o'clock appointment. And each of you are paying for the service that you'll get. And what they do is they'll get started with one person, they'll look at their hair, they'll have the hair consult, and then they'll say, okay, well, what we're going to do is kind of get you back to a shampoo girl, and they'll have like 4 or 5 shampoo girls. So they had to quit stacking appointments during COVID-19. Some of the hairstylists, like I have my brother's sister-in-law, she does hair, she does extensions, she does locks. And the salon that she worked out of completely closed. They wouldn't accommodate like special appointments because most places went down in capacity. So they said you could only have, you know, 6% of your usual or so many at a time in there. And so that's only people that would be in there for that appointment. And she started working. She actually, carved out a place in her house to where they had their own entrance. They had, COVID, like she was doing um, sprays and things like that, where she was trying her hardest to get people in. They were masked up the whole time, but she had just bought her house 2 years prior and she had a mortgage that she had to pay. She was like, COVID ain't gonna stop me. I'm gonna have to do something different. And so she was offering discounts if people wanted to come to her home. The only problem is she couldn't stack appointments anymore. Nobody wanted to be in the vicinity if someone else. Everybody's like back to not caring. And so stacking of appointments is back and everybody is experiencing an increase. But yeah, and then they did those plexi, those clear plexi, like you put on desk and things like that. They were doing those at stations and stuff, so that 2 or 3 hairstylists could be in the salon with just their one client. A lot of the hairstylists had to be their own shampoo, their own conditioner. They had to do all of that, like prep work. They were doing a lot of that themselves, but it was still a way to have income coming in because there was a lot of industries hard hit, you know. If you guys had it to do all over again, I know I asked this a few weeks ago, what would you have done? Have you thought about that? What I was most grateful for is because I had started off pre-law, and I was at Ohio State. When you major in pre-law, you still have to declare like an undergraduate major. So I was international business, and international business, you are required to minor in a language. So my minor was Spanish. Then obviously they have a 3+3 program where your first 3 years your first 3 years you're doing undergrad work, and your final year of college is your first year in law school. So you're kind of combining it. They call it the 3+3 program at Capital Law. And what I was doing at that point, going into my junior year, right before I was to start the second half of the 3+3, I was working at the courthouse and kind of just went through and redefined just based on, I'll tell you right now, if you ever want to know the nuts and bolts of a field, go work in it from like the ground up or something. I'm at the courthouse. I was working as a file clerk while I was going to college. And I started handling like I'm doing something that had nothing to do with lawyers. I was handling restitutions, which are like evictions, and the payment you gotta return to the court or to the landlord if you've been successfully evicted. So I'm handling restitutions and things. And every day I get on the elevator and I hear the lawyers. Hate this job. I can't believe I had to come down to the court today. I tried my heart. Like they was really talking about how they tried their hardest to get out of having to come in to trial. They didn't want to have to see courtroom time on this case. And they would hate it. And I'm like, what do we go to school for? Like I thought that's what the end goal was, to be able to see a courtroom, to get in there and have your opportunity to talk and to get the judge on your side and to win and to get the money from the client because you did a great job and you helped them. But that wasn't it. Like, I mean, I started to like, should I be going for this? Maybe I need to redefine my options and things. And so that's where a lot of that comes from. When it was time, obviously, I ended up getting married. That was with my first husband. And so even after the marriage was kind of going south, and I was trying to think about, should I go back to school and should I finish up law school? Should I do all of that? Yeah, the desire wasn't there anymore. I still had a desire to maybe be in a courtroom, but maybe from a different perspective. And so when I went back to school, I actually went to court reporting school. Yep, court reporting school, guys. The little machine that you guys see in the courtroom. It is like taking a whole other language because you have 26 keys and you have to create an entire language of words out of those keys. So, and I know a lot of people think that we're typing. So they think that we're like really fast and we're typing words on there. And we're not. We're typing sounds, the words of the sound. We're typing the beginning. So how did you become a comedian? I was always a comedian, class clown. um, you know how you get every year, you get it at the end of elementary school? That looks very hard to do. It's very hard. Just to, before I go on to answer Jean's question, um, be, bef- just to give you an idea. So the machine is set up where you have a left side of keys, you have a right side of keys, and then you have a little bar in between. And how it works is you're writing the beginning sound, the middle sound, and the ending of a word. And so I have my machine. I should just show you. Anyway, I'm going to give you an example. Think about all beginning sounds. You have the d, the k, the b, the g sound, the h sound, the n, like words that start with n. So you're writing let's use a word, a real easy word. My first word that I ever learned, dog. So you're doing the d sound, the ah sound, and the g ending sound. And so where that would be four strokes on a regular keyboard, the D, the O, the G, and then a space, that's one stroke on a court reporting keyboard. It is exactly like shorthand, Angela. They call it machine shorthand, which is where the term comes from. Then it went from machine shorthand to stenography and then court reporting. But that's exactly what it's like, shorthand. So it's just, beginning sound, middle sound, ending. For words like beginning or, you know, double syllable or something like that, you would do as much as you can of the first syllable and then come back for the inflected ending. So dogs. Now I'm able to stroke dogs in one, but some people aren't. Some, depending on the theory, everyone had a different theory or language that they learned in school. Some people learned a language called Sten Ed. Some people learned Phoenix. There's a bunch of different languages, and you can tell where they were in time when they tell you what language they learned. Obviously, court reporting's been around since like the early 1900s, but you can tell different languages that have trans time and what language they learned. And you guys, hopefully you guys can hear me. That was a call coming through. I had to look at it and like, who's calling me on a Wednesday night? Okay. So that is basically the concept behind court reporting, except you have to be able to stroke the words at the rate of speech. Those women that talk into the mask are weird. They call that voice writing, or, like you said, mask. And that is new as well. That technology just started coming around right as I was graduating. So, um, and it's a little more simplistic. The unfortunate part about using the mask is it's very hard when people start arguing in the courtroom to capture everything that's said in the voice mask because you're speaking at your own rate of speech and not that person's. But if you do court reporting, you're trained, everyone speaks about 160 words per minute, and you're trained, and you have to, when you get your license, you have to be competent at 225 words per minute. And how do you get that fast? You have to practice at a higher rate of speech so that that rate seems slow. So to get to 225 words per minute on a stenography machine, you're probably practicing about 260, 280. And that's very high because people don't usually speak that fast. Most people speak between fast. Somebody that talks fast, they're at like 180 words a minute or 190. So that's even faster than, someone who speaks fast. So it's really, difficult when they start arguing. You lying? I didn't say that. Strike that from the record. I will have order in the court. It can be really crazy because everyone's talking over each other and things like that. So that is court reporting. And to answer Jean's question, so I always used to, how you have karaoke machine in the family. Okay, so we would always be fooling around. Any opportunity I had to act a nut on microphone and family videos when we had movies, little family movies and stuff, I always took the opportunity to cut up as much as I could on camera. And then we'd watch it back and everybody be like, who? Oh, that's you. She's so funny. She's so funny. So, long story short, when I finished school, I graduated early. And I graduated early because I was in this accelerated program, but I was bored. I didn't have anything to do. And the first thing they say to you, you ready for college? You decided where you're going to go? Hell no, I don't want to go to school. I've been in school. I'm tired of school. Been going to school. I was going to school year round. Even when I was in junior high, I would go to school in the summer to take, classes, get ahead on whatever I could get ahead on. By the time I was in junior high, I'm going into college programs. They always have Upward Bound, Up with the People. They had all kind of programs where you could, expand and start your college, career ahead of time. So by the time I get to high school, I'm done. I got as many credits as possible. And I never forget, I think it was the end of my sophomore year. And they just told me that because I had went to a private school, I had already got a great foundation. It had set a great foundation. And so coming into high school, when we had switched schools, I had already taken a lot of the classes that they were saying that we needed. So they simply gave me credit for them. On top of that, I had taken some college classes. They gave me credit for that. Coming into the middle towards the end of my sophomore year, where they start to set your classes up, they were like, you're done. What? Yeah, you have all of the credits, everything that you need to graduate. Good, I'm up out of here. I don't want to stay in school. I don't have to. So guess what she did with that time? Well, I grew up on the East Coast. We have, when I say East Coast, I grew up in Connecticut, and we have family in Jersey, just outside of New York City. So I said, I need to, do some things for myself. My dad was furious. What do you mean? It's like, I'm going to New York. I'm going to become a comic. I'm going to be rich. Be the next famous whoever. I think I was talking about Whoopi at that point. It's like mid to late 80s at this point. So I said, I'm going to go and be rich, right? I get there. Everything is working out except one thing. To get on stage, you got to bring your own audience. Like, you got to bring your own audience. So the people that show up, they may not necessarily be funny. But if you coming to see your friends or your family, you're going to cheer, right? So that is no way to judge how funny you are. But if you take the audience of someone that's, you know, brought people and you have them come and listen to you, that's a good judge of how funny you are. So I stand outside like, don't go in there. I don't know what the hell they talking about. Y'all, this the real show out here. I'm staying here on this box all night. I'm just tell jokes. Here go my hat right here. I start a joke right before the punchline. Be like, whoo, damn, that hat look empty. I sure could finish this joke if something was in it. Dang, it's like, whoa, it's empty. Ain't nothing in here. And they'd be standing around waiting to get in. And I'm outside trying to make some change. Just a little change. I'm telling stories and stuff. And finally they'd come out, get off this block, you can't do that. I look like a hoodlum. But I was having fun, I was having fun. And I didn't have a lot of material. I didn't. The unfortunate part is when you're young, what do you have to talk about but other young stuff, right? You got to live a little. And I never forget, I had been out there and I was trying to get on stage. I finally got on stage and I'm telling the funniest stuff. And it was all about the time at camp. I was at camp and they got us eating worms. How I was going to eat worms? They ain't teach us nothing. They look like onions. I shriveled them up, cooked them. People was laughing. I got, you know, ah, those types of definitely wasn't as funny as when you trying to steal someone's show because you the center now, you got the show out. And I told my dad, don't worry, I'm still going to go to college. Let me just give this a try, do something I want for 2 years. Well, that 2 years went like that. And I'm still not famous. I took my ass to school because I was like, whoop, she going to need something to fall back on. She ain't as funny as she thought. So I'm not as funny as I thought. I'm sad and things. I go to school. Life starts to happen. Life happens. I got married. I had eloped, and then I told you guys my first husband, he's French. He's from a whole other country. Not that there's anything wrong with French, men or anything, but it was just funny, the differences in our culture and how we were raised and stuff. It was funny, it was definitely funny. And it made me some money. And the good news about that is, when it didn't work out and I'm, moving on and trying to find my space and things like that and what I want to do and what, I'm getting older and I want my dreams to, still come true. So what do? I got a little reprieve. How do I try and go back after it? So I started going into different nightclubs and, I go to their open mic night. But now I got stuff to talk about. Woo! Who would have known? Life was so funny. And I talk about these men, oh my goodness, and all of their trifling ass ways. Like, you see that damn bag sitting by the door. You didn't think I meant take it the hell out? Take it to the dumpster. You on your way out, Put the toilet seat down. I should, so it's little things like that, just real life that, everybody can identify with, became like the easiest stuff to talk about and make people laugh. And so after I was getting a few chuckles, the unfortunate part was I ended up meeting my second husband. And if you guys didn't know, I talked about him last week a little bit. He was definitely more traditional. Man works, woman stays home. The man takes care of the household. The woman, she doesn't have to. So for him, he's always felt like, it's his job to make sure that he provided. Hold on one second. Oh, I ain't gonna be able to stay. I do apologize. I got 3% left on this right here. 3%. It's gonna hang up because I don't know. Oh, because my pen wasn't all the way in, and so it ran down fast. Oops. I guess, like, you guys came out and hung out, and it's been another almost 2 hours. I'm sorry. The screen is about to hang up. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. But I had a ball. Thank you guys for coming out and hanging out. I'm sorry I had to cut the story in half. Yeah, but that's how I came to Vegas. I was competing to be on Funniest Mom in America, and they brought me out here. So I'll finish another time. Love you guys.